deal. In particular, our first Vice District Governor, Bob Johnson, who's under the weather right now. So put an extra special care about him. And bless the food to our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, and then Lloyd is going to start us out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, Marilyn, you are up.
Country is of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrim's pride, on every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Thank you. Good to see everyone's smiling face today. How about back there in the back? Do we have any guests in the house today?
Carrie Ann, hello. We have 3 guests in the house. I'll let Jordan introduce the guest speaker, and Grace would like to introduce Carrie's guest.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions guests. My guest today is Lynn Peterson. She's here to check us out. It'll be good today.
Well, welcome, Lynn. All right. Sunshine Report, Penny.
Yes, we have 2 cards back here to sign. One is for Dale Wheeler. He had surgery last week. It was the surgery he's kind of been waiting for. Last I heard, he was doing well. And there's a card for him taking it. And there's also one for Shirley White. I guess she's on dialysis and having some complications with that. There's 2 cards. And then, I don't know, Greg, if you're going to talk about Gary, but I want to remind everybody that Gary Henthorne's memorial will be March 5th at the Elks.
Okay.
And by the way, it was President Gary and Little Lions guest, and maybe you didn't even hear.
I was reading your mind, so I knew that.
And has something to say.
So do you mean April 5th for Gary?
Did I say, what did I
March.
say?
March?
Oh,
March 5th.
Is it April, Gary? Great. Oh, I was thinking
That
it
is a
wasn't
Saturday.
March.
April 5th.
Okay, April 5th? I don't know, I'll look it up again.
All right, thank you. If you want to
That's on a Wednesday.
continue on, Penny, for the Happy Bucks, go right ahead.
Yes, we would love to. Are you doing anything Pat in here? No? You don't make me come back. Huh? He didn't even look.
Thank God.
I'm sure he'll be back. No money today? What's going on? All right, past Governor Steve Patterson is digging in his pocket, so. Patterson, yeah. You don't know what I call him when nobody's around.
Could you stand closer to me? There we go. President Carrie Ann, Lions and guests, a happy dollar. We spent the weekend with our children up in Seattle. It was a wonderful time, and a great big thank you to Second Vice President, Ms. Camarda. She comes out and watches the kitty for us. She hasn't located it yet. We
plane looks like he's hovering behind me here.
President Kerry Ann, fellow Lions and guests, here's a happy 5 guys. It's good to see my friends from KLTV here. I've been submitting videos for, 10, 12 years now. And so it's great to see them. I've got over 700 videos on YouTube. So all the Lions Club videos are on there, plus some of the other ones I make. So if you're ever bored and want to see what's going on.
Federally owned.
That's what I do when I want to go to sleep. And I don't know your name. David, fellow Lion David.
Who? Somewhere he has a badge, right? I don't know.
He's new.
They wanted to run me out earlier. President Kerry Ann, fellow Lions and guests, I got a happy buck and a sad buck. The happy buck is for Sharon Sessions, that's no longer with us. And the sad buck is for the Lions. Yeah, and her birthday's tomorrow.
Oh.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Behind me? You're last. I was there and you did not want me.
Oh.
I'll put in his $5 if you skip him.
I want you to know in Bible study, we've been studying waiting.
Oh.
Fellow Lion Greg.
Waiting or waiting?
President Kerry Ann, fellow Lions and guests, Sharon Sisson, I miss her too. I used to husband, her husband Gail, and she always kidded me about being 2 weeks older than she is, or was.
Well, you're still 2 weeks older.
A lot older now.
But if she was here, she'd still be younger. Do we want to do Pat or Hal first?
Do we?
You're in charge there, you know that.
President Kerry Ann, fellow Lions and guests. For those of you who didn't know Sharon Sisson, I'm going to ask Darlene, didn't she start this baking of goods? Yes. And so, yeah, she started that raffle program for us. So she was responsible for all that sugar. And of course, Darlene and Jane have continued to help us with that.
I love that. I don't have it on.
Yeah, find her for I'm having on.
Okay, we flipped a coin and you lost, or won, I'm not sure. We lost,
Okay, the most gorgeous tail twisters in town. Yeah, that's right. Kerry Ann, all Lions and guests. Steve, I don't know if you noticed, there's a Pac-Man game over there for you. Where's he hiding now? Oh, there he is. It's right over there. You want to show us how it works?
That's not funny.
Oh, okay. Hey, second dollar is I had a great time in Squim. Spoke at the Squim Lions. And it's interesting, we talked about different methodologies to attract members. And the lady got up and said, here's what I do. Twice a week, I wear my vest wherever I go. And they have vests that are yellow like ours with the Squim Valley Lions on the back and their name on the front. And she just talks to people. Because they asked her what's going on in the Lions Club. Third happy dollar, it was a beautiful Airbnb and I stayed in. Fourth happy dollar is that I stayed with my daughter one night and that was one busy night, took her out to dinner. Do you know how much it costs to take a family of 5 out to dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the $200 number by $2. That was feeling good about that, I guess.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, go to McDonald's next time.
You did.
Yeah, not anymore.
Did you leave a $2 tip?
Oh, that included the tip. And then the fifth happy dollar is something they'll remember some other day and report it. That's why you want to go back and look at those old tapes of the meeting, figure out what you forgot to say the previous week.
Okay.
I'm just following you.
Okay, are you sure? Okay.
Past been. It's easier to
Past district governor, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it if I was wrong.
say has been.
Has been.
It's usually easier to just say past has been or past. I have looked like that. But it's Mark. President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, first dollar. 48 years ago Thursday, I was set up on a date by Lion John Surrey, the third vice president candidate this year. And I have been with Ellen ever since. So we're going on 48 years together on Thursday for our date. We've been married 46. Second, I'm a happy dollar. Don Claypool's not here to give a hard time to, but for many years we were both self-employed real estate appraisers, and it was a scramble to get taxes done and filed by the 15th of April. Second year in a row, mid-February, filed and off and done. It's nice being retired and not having one of the other extra stuff. Quote of the week from Vince Lombardi this week. The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have.
I like that one. All right, anyone up here? We have to wave that in the air.
Hey, Colonel Sanders.
Fellow Lion, John, what's your last name?
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, my wife and I celebrated our 50th anniversary on Valentine's Day. Another reason I introduced Ellen to Mark was figured if I had to get married, so did he.
Yeah.
I'll have to dig out $1 here.
Young chickens.
Harry's got it one up there.
One extra $1. I probably had to spare from the 5 anyway, but President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, again, what he forgot to tell you is when he got married, he was I was his best man. So he returned the damage or favor, I'm not sure which. I got married and he was my best man.
All right, we're headed back there.
She did.
I must have been looking at Mark. All right, Marilyn, watch the cord.
Don't be an Isla.
President Carrie Ann, Lions and guests, one happy dollar for, again, hopefully the last time I mentioned this, but I'm really excited that the totem pole is on the way to being restored. Got the application for the grant if we need it. That is submitted, so just waiting to hear back from that and jump through a couple more hoops, and hopefully we don't need it. But also really happy, I am, that California season is coming up. I am looking forward to it. Yeah, so possibly the end of March, definitely by April. So if you guys want to come out and do some shifts and hang out, and it's fun. So we'll see you there.
Sign me up, coach.
All right, anyone else up front? Okay. I see $1 waving in the wind.
Thank you, Tim Bushers. President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests, that's just my one happy dollar that summer's finally arrived.
It's our first fall spring.
We are. Treasurer, Matt Palmer.
Thank you very much, Ms. Del Twister. Here we go, there's the 5 happy bucks. The very first happy buck is saying hi to my friend Verrill over there, who, if you don't remember, after Gary Hill came back on the road and had to be a long-haul truck driver, Barry gave him another job back there for a little while so that he could continue to help out at KLTV. Barry, it's always fun seeing you. You're just a hell of a good guy, in spite of what everybody says. Yeah, that's the truth. All right, second one is, second happy buck is as your treasurer. It's really fun to do this, but if you'd have been at the board meeting last Thursday, you'd have known that Dave Muniz is going to represent Pioneer Lions at the St. Jude's Broomstick Pool Tournament. And so he's going to take a check from us for $200 to St. Jude's to go to the kids. All right? And the other one that's over here is for Greg Firth, who always brings this request in to the Longview Public Library. Large print books donation, $1,500 that your board made sure is going to get out to the people in the community. There you go. That goes to the hall. Now the next one's going to be a little harder, but I'll try to get through it. It's 3 years ago for each third, fourth, and fifth happy dollar. It's 3 years ago this week that I had my heart procedure that allowed me to be here today.
Yes.
Praise God for that. And Carrie Ann, if I may, President Carrie Ann, add that the service for Gary Thorne is April 5th at 1 o'clock at the Elks. So just one point of clarification. All right, I think that's it.
George, I have sanitized this, so do you want to just go ahead so I don't have to talk into it first? It's on. I think I'm over it, but yeah, I just wiped it all down.
Thank you for that nice introduction, President Carrie Ann.
You're welcome.
Can't say something
It was easy.
Actually, I should point out that she didn't want to use the mic after she sanitized it because she's afraid she might be contagious. I've had them all at once, one time or another. Today I have two guests. Our guest speaker is Corbin Riedel. He's a Deputy Executive Director at KLTV. And bad news, Lions, I'm not going to give a long-winded introduction of our speaker. I know you're looking forward to it, but I won't do it today. I am going to introduce, however, my other guest who will introduce Corbin, and that's Verrill, who is the current Director of KLTV, has been for 17 years. Barry is a native of our 51st state. He started in community television back in 1982 and in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And then he moved to Collingwood, Ontario, which we aren't familiar with. That is east of Thornbury, Ontario, right? He was there from 1986 to 2000. He was in Tampa, Florida for 6 years. In 2007, he came to Longview as director of KLTV. And I remember those years. The organization was somewhat in disarray. Went through one of those transitions.
Were you on the board?
No, I wasn't. I was off the board by then. But I was on the original board. Started out, but it went through a curve. And Barry has not only just salvaged what was there, but he has built KLTV into a community asset and relied on by almost all of our local governments for information and, of course, other things that we use. So I'd like to have Verrill come up and please introduce our speakers.
Thank you, George. The best news I'm going to give you today is I'm not going to speak very long. Corbin will, though. Thank you, Pat, for bringing, and Hal for both bringing up Gary Hill. Gary worked for me for about 8 years and was the guy that sort of taught me how to live in Longview.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, I brought Gary back because I have a sort of a history of bringing people back, and Corbin's part of that history. Corbin worked for me for 5 years. 7 years? Well, he didn't actually work the last 2 years. So he's with me for 7 years and then moved back to Massachusetts to be closer to family and got a job back there. At that time, I wasn't thinking about retiring, but then, God, I got old. So I started thinking about, they wanted me to have a succession plan and find somebody that could replace me when I was done. And the first and only person that came to my mind was Corbin Riedel. I called Corbin and caught him on a bad day, I guess, and he said yes. He came back to us in August last year. He will take over January 1st, and I wouldn't leave what I consider to be my baby in anyone's hand that wouldn't do a good job. Corbin will do a heck of a job, so welcome him to Longview and be like Gary Hill and show him how to live here.
Yeah.
Corbin Riedel.
Are you moving, George?
I don't know.
Unless you want tan, that's up to you.
Is he gonna stand in the box?
No, I'll go over this one. Don't think I'll need the box though.
We can move here.
That's okay.
I'll move in.
Well, thank you for letting me come in here and bore you. So it's always appreciated. As Barry said, my name is Corbin Riedel. I am the Deputy Executive Director of KLTV now. Back in 2010, when I first started working for him, I was the education coordinator, basically being the one in charge of teaching people in the community how to produce television for themselves. In fact, one of the people I've taught some things to was Dwayne, your own Lions member. So it's always good to see him around. Yeah, so in 2017, I moved to Massachusetts for a better, or I thought it was a better opportunity, I guess, but it turns out the better opportunity was actually back here, being amongst people that I know, a community that I like, and, you know, returning back to the West Coast was kind of a no-brainer. So I'm glad to be back. All right, so starting to talk about KLTV and what we are what's known as a community access center, but more technically, we are what's also known as a PEG center, which is Public Education and Government Access. So we have three facets. One is for the general public, which is any sort of programs that come through the community we can put on our channel there. The education side is for the schools primarily and the events that they put on. And of course, the government side is for any sort of municipal meeting, any sort of a special event they put on. We do meetings for the entire county, essentially, except for like Tootle and Castle Rock and Woodland. But we also cover like port meetings and all that fun stuff. So as you saw, there's Barry. Yeah, let's get past this one. All right, so.
That was fast.
What's that?
After all these years with Verrill, we gotta learn how to spell your last name.
It's easy enough. If you ever watch Grease, you can kind of get the general spelling of right now.
Okay.
Yeah. As I tend to throw out there. KLTV started back in the 1970s as a class in LCC. At that time, it was actually fairly popular, but then they decided to discontinue it. And in the early 1980s, the community got together, formed an LLC, which became KLTV Inc., and became its own entity. Right? We're not beholden to anybody except for the public. So how we operate, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We rely on what are known as franchise fees, which is basically taxing the cable services for laying cables in the public right-of-ways. The city gets a portion of that funds, and then they break it off for us as well. We also rely on donations and memberships from the community at large. We are essentially, no, I won't go through this whole thing, but essentially our mission is to enrich the community through classes. We enrich the community through programming. We enrich the community to help them get their own message across. So basically whatever you find interesting in your own life, we would find that interesting too. We would love to put it on our channel if you ever have the inclination to do so. We teach classes on a regular. Right now, everything's kind of on a one-on-one basis. So if you ever wanted to take a class, you can always call us up. We can schedule something and then just go from there. We also have membership fees. Individual memberships are $25. That basically covers anybody within Cowles County. If you wanted to have your family involved, you can get a family membership, which covers up to 4 people in the same address. And the other one is for nonprofits. As I said before, we offer classes in video production, camera operation, editing, all that fun stuff. We are also thinking about, in the future, offering podcasting classes and designing a podcast studio within our facility. What we cover a wide variety of different things. I always say that we cover everything between, is that somebody's phone? We cover everything from Church shows to cage fights is basically what we cover. We cover everything. And we don't discriminate. We are a non-biased and, non-judgmental facility. So whatever my beliefs are and your beliefs are different, that doesn't matter. You can come in and put your show on. We will not we basically only restrict if you say things that are, inflammatory and untrue. That's basically about it. Or if somebody else raises a stink. As we well know. All right. As we say, as I said before, KLTV is looking to the future, looking to evolve. We are wanting to design, again, podcasting classes. I'm also looking into offerings for film festivals, basically recreating films as well. There was a program we did back in Massachusetts, but I thought would be kind of fun to do here, which is called, it was crowdsourced Boston. Essentially what we did is we took a classic film and recreated it scene by scene. So we did films like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Jurassic Park, Castaway, all those fun stuff. And basically it was just an amalgamation of different scenes. Some people would do Lego, some people would do scenes in the style of other movies. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be something fun we could do here as well. As always, KLTV is a membership-driven organization. This is all basically stuff I'm kind of going over. I'm just jumping ahead. But we have multiple opportunities for learning as well as enrichment of the community that we will continue to offer things like the Go Forth Parade on our channel. We will offer things like the Timber Festival, the Highland Festival, as well as graduations and other sporting events. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. My contact information is right here. Yes, sir.
At $25
That is a good question. We do not, unfortunately, currently have, I guess, what we consider a really big membership base. We are looking to expand that. It is $25 a year. It's not like it's not a monthly membership, so it actually is very low. It's very affordable for anybody who wants to do it, and I think it's a good price. Basically, they sell me. I go off and do other things. So, no, like I said, we are financed through what are known as franchise fees.
So what is your budget?
I think our budget is around $500,000 a year, something like that. It does fluctuate, unfortunately, with cable subscriptions, depending on what they, how increased or decreased they might be. So, yes, sir, Pat.
Corbin, I've been serving as treasurer for 3 years, and so it'd be really, really fun if I received that membership renewal letter from KLTV that I haven't received for 3 years. And when Gary was alive, it was always very easy for him to come in and ask us for a donation for the KLTV because of the different programs and things that we did together. And so I would imagine that service organizations such as yourself may end up supporting you if you just send us a letter.
Okay. A swift kick to the rear is always good, yeah.
I was actually kind of calling out the former executive.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
What are your top 3 expenditures?
Our top 3 expenditures typically are power for the facility. We actually own the building that we're in, so we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. We have renters as well in our space. We also have expenditures for capital, gear breaks down, and of course expenditures for staff. So we currently have a staff of 5 full-timers and one part-timer. So those are our main 3 expenditures.
So these are like full-time jobs?
They are. Yeah, myself, Barry, and 2 others are, 3 others are full-time, and we have 1 part-timer, which I'll have to work on replacing myself once Barry retires, but that'll be fine. We also do offer internships too.
So, Corbin, when you go to the county commissioner's office or the city council, you see these cameras up there.
Yes.
Do you direct and produce from there, or you direct and produce from your location at KLTV?
Good question. We actually do have a remote setup, so we don't have to worry about going to those locations unless something happens. The only meeting that we currently produce that we had to go on site for is that we actually do cover the city council meeting for Rainier. And that's because it would be a big charge to try to run a cable across the bridge to get to us. So.
So when your sports fans desk in LA or New York,
That's right.
just like New York and LA.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to thank you for what you do for the community. Years ago, when we lived in Yakima, there was a program over there through the local stations, or through the local junior college at the time. And our oldest son was a part of that. And just to tell you a cute little story about that, he was filming a basketball game at one of the high schools, and the camera kept going over to the cheerleaders. And
Priorities, you know.
it was, he's 18 years old or 17 years old. It was hilarious, because it was obvious as could be that he was trained well in the art of camera work, but his focus was just a little bit off.
To that,
I think that would be called prejudicial.
possibly, and to that point, yeah, we do rely on volunteers to help us produce these shows. So, you know, for sporting events and graduations and stuff like that, we usually ask for people to come help us out by running cameras or, you know, switching the program, that sort of thing. So a young gentleman running the camera for a basketball game, focusing on the cheerleaders is not too uncommon. We do have to, of course, set them right. It's like, look, the program is that way. Yeah. Well, I think, whichever one. Who wants to go first?
Thank you, Greg. So do you do all of the high school and college sports, or do you just do some, or are you all over that?
So unfortunately, because we do have a small staff, we can't cover every single sport. But if somebody from the community were to record it and bring it to us, we would definitely air it. This year, we did cover the football games for Tootle and Woodland. And that was because, unfortunately, we did kind of start a little late. So we weren't able to get like Longview, Kelso, and so on and so forth. But we do like to cover as many as we can. As far as graduations, again, same thing, we want to cover as many as we can. Sometimes, you know, they hire somebody else, or they have somebody else who covers it, and we have to go, you know, just cover everything else. But yeah, we do want to get as much coverage as possible to help serve people who are interested.
Yes, a number of years back, Don Sheldon, who's a member of the Monticello Lions, started the Lions Den. And through Gary, I learned how to operate cameras and whatnot. And then Gary, the way he pushed, he got me involved with filming a lot of the council meetings too. And it was more fun with Lions Den, believe me, than the doggone council meeting.
Not going to say anything negative, but yes, you know, sometimes things are a little bit more interesting than the others. And, you know, as far as us as staff, we unfortunately don't get to cover everything we want to cover that might be interesting, but we cover everything that the public finds interesting. So, well, as much.
So where do we find you at?
Well, I mean, I'm over here, just actually down the street. So, yeah.
Channel. What channel?
Oh, channels. Okay, gotcha. So we are on Comcast channels 11, 28, and 29. But you can also find all of our live stream programming on our website at kltv.org. And we also have a VOD system so you can see videos from past productions. So.
I would just like to add to the story about our son, and it's not the humorous side, it's the benefit side. He was taking extra credit at school, and there was the training that was sponsored by the community college. And so when he graduated from high school, he had a certification to be able to work and run the camera. And shortly after that, he moved to the Seattle area and actually landed a position at one of the main television stations.
Excellent.
To run his camera. So it really was a benefit for him for his first careers.
Yeah.
Which cheerleader did you marry?
No, she's not a cheerleader.
Actually, their boys married sisters.
Oh.
Saw a hand up over here.
I'd sort of like to piggyback on that last story. People often ask us,
what your value. That's a great value. And I'll give you another example. You watch Dateline? Andrea Kim?
Oh, yeah.
She started in my station in Collingwood, Ontario. So what we do might seem silly if you're not interested in gardening or cooking or whatever, but it's a career for a lot of people. So we're well worth supporting. Thank you very much for having us today.
Yeah.
So, thank you. And also to piggyback off that, other people who've gone to prominence are Rachel Ray. She started off in public access. And if anybody know the director, Robert Rodriguez, he also started in public access down in Austin, Texas. So, yeah. But that is caution.
I'm just, Corbin, I'm taken back to, I believe it was one of the first times I met you, but we had the chuck wagon behind Story Field at LCC for a baseball tournament. And we had all been there for a lot of hours. And it's early into the evening, and these kids are playing the snot out of this game. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy warm. And I looked at Corbin, and I was like, dude, you look like you need a cheeseburger. I'm like, you betcha, man, you betcha. So I had lots of great thoughts back over the years. Another one is a great one, visiting Gary when he was in his second career at KLTV. And coming in, and I looked across one of the sound stages, and I'm like, isn't that crappy plastic ficus tree that we used like 10 years ago? He looks at me and he goes, it's not broken. Another one when the van was breaking down.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God, this was...
Was this the purple one?
Huh?
Was this the purple one?
The purple one, right?
Yeah.
So I get this call from Gary Hill back. Do you have all your tools in your car? I'm like, sure. Is there any chance I can get you to come over here? Sure, what's going on? He's like, oh, I just need a little thing fixed, no problem. So for 3 hours, I'm laying underneath the purple van trying to figure out how to stop this thing from not leaking oil, pouring oil. And when I say pouring oil, I had to throw away my Copies Today shirt from that day because it was just raining out of that engine. Anyway, loose valve cover, et cetera, et cetera. You know what happens. We get everything all tightened down. Gary's like, so, you want me to take you out to dinner? And I'm like, no. But I lived out in Rose Valley at the time. I said, I really would like to go to your house and take a shower. Anyway, the KLTV family is very close and to many of our hearts. And I will tell you, on the third anniversary of my heart procedure, in the 18 months leading up to it, and then the 6 months following it, I watched a ton of KLTV because it was along with Brother Hal, who was doing a Zoom meeting kind of an idea, but it's show quality wasn't nearly what Dwayne was able to provide for those of us who were homebound during both the COVID years and during the illnesses. So God bless you, and thank you for what you do for our community. And
thank you.
You know what? It'd be really fun to have another Longview Pioneer Lions half hour, or just to bring that show back. It was very informative, and it kept us in the forefront of the locals, folks.
And you'll be happy to know we retired those trees. So.
Tell me you took them home and gave them to your wife?
It was a romantic gesture. But no, actually, going off that, Pat, we would definitely love to have the Pioneer Lions do a show again at our studio. So, yes, sir.
I'm going to tell a story about the Lions Den. We had a member of our club in the hospital, and Don Sheldon invited my brother and I on, and he asked us if we ever had fun at the Lions Club. All we did was go back and forth about the fun things we've done. And the gentleman got out of the hospital. I saw him in the next project. He says, Hal, I want you to know you two saved my life. I laughed so hard during that show because I remembered most of those things. So that's the effect that show can have. Because I try to remember his name, I got his face in my my brain, but the name is still hiding back there. But he since passed away years later. Old age, that's what it is.
I'd like to add one thing that Patrick brought up, that van.
That's gone too, so.
Gary and I were over at Kelso City Hall for their meeting. And we got out, they fired it up, I was driving it, and the lights weren't working. Gary goes, how are we gonna get back to Longview? I says, watch. I pulled out on the street, there was 5 cops on us, they gave us an escort for the rest of the way.
That's awesome. That's terrific. I think anybody who's ever worked on that old LeSharon that we had, as a purple people eater, we used to call it, has a horror story. I mean, the thing drew blood. I think I have a scar on my thumb from when it cut me one last time when we were taking the gear out to sell the thing off. So, yes, sir.
Well, everyone's reminiscing of an anecdote, so I'll tell a quick one. When Vince, Pinta, and John, I forget his last name, first formed the community access television out of the college, they asked me if I would join the board. And then they asked me if I would moderate the city council Wednesday voters debate. And I did. And those of you who are familiar with my articulation skills probably would be amused at me trying to say Lower Columbia Telecommunications Association several times. So the first act I did as the board member president was recommend we change the name to Kelso Longview Television.
Greatly appreciate that.
Easier to say.
Yes. On a side note on that front too, it's kind of funny. We have KLTV here, right, in Longview, Washington. There's a KLTV in Longview, Texas, right?
Oh, no.
They're an ABC affiliate. And they had a guy who was running the station named Barry. So Barry would get emails from their KLTV asking why certain shows weren't on, or yelling at him for not having the proper licenses or whatever. But it's like we're not here. So. Done? All right, cool. There we go. I'll get a call from you.
Thank you for coming to speak to us, you two. And Corbin, since you're the closest, I'm going to present you with our Longview Pioneer Lions mug.
Thank you.
That you can certainly take back with you or take home, whichever you prefer.
That's right. You mean my office?
Yeah. Okay, we have some announcements, it looks like. So Steve Patterson, we'll start with you.
President Carrie Ann Lions and guests, we have an awards committee meeting over here somewhere. And, some of our members of the committee are not here, but if you would like to sit in on it or be on the committee, you're most welcome. All committees are open to all members, as you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. How about past President Cheryl?
Okay. President Carrie Ann Lions and guests, and especially past presidents. 1 week from tonight, February 25th, 6 p.m., Yan's Chinese. Past presidents working meeting to develop the slate of officers and directors for Lions year 2025-26. Please be there if you can. If you're a past president.
Okay.
That's president of KLTV.
Bob Piper.
President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. It's almost spring, so I want to have a little spring cleaning at the shop this Friday. Friday morning, about 9 o'clock, I'll get 3 or 4 guys. Or if you know of something that's in the shop that's really important to you and you don't want to thrown out, you better be there. We're going to do a little cleaning, that's all. Shouldn't take too long, a couple, 3 hours. Appreciate the help. Thank you.
Say
And men, women. Any lion can come help. 9 o'clock Friday morning. Thank you.
Okay, and Darlene, in regards to recycling, is next up.
President Carrie Ann Bill Lyons, I guess tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to do another deal like grocery outlet to bag up their plastic and stuff. So if you want to come and help, shouldn't take very long. Usually takes about a half an hour, 45 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Darlene. Sharon, I've got you. Want to talk about the evening meeting? You do a little rundown.
Thank you, President Carrie Ann, fellow Lions and guests. This Thursday is our monthly nightly meeting, and it's at Ashtown Brewing at 6 p.m. And I'd like to encourage you guys to come, and if you know anyone that can't come to the meetings during the week, give them a call and invite them.
Thank you. It's not free beer, but there is beer, so gives you all the more reason to go.
Yep, and food.
Yes.
I failed to mention this because I forgot.
All right.
But the evening meeting has always been attended by our vice presidents. But one of the vice presidents will not be there because it's her birthday.
Oh.
What? Oh.
I think it's time for the traditional singing of the Pioneer Lions birthday song. It goes something like this, Barry.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
You're not turning red enough. We gotta try harder.
And I'm assuming that means it's Ann's birthday for sure.
Yeah.
And are you 29?
Again. Okay, well, the last announcement that I have is something I need a show of hands on. We have been invited to a volunteer appreciation dinner for the Jumbo's Memorial Toy Run that we do every year. But they're having a dinner here at the Longview Eagles this Saturday, February 22nd, 6 p.m. Longview Eagles. I need to RSVP how many people are going. So if I could get a show of hands, how many would like to come to that volunteer appreciation dinner? Okay, gotcha.
I might go, but I'll RSVP to the meetings.
Okay, we're supposed to let Wanda know. So I'll get that to you. Okay, thank you.
We
Thank
want
you,
a
everyone.
clarification on the time.
6 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Presidential response.
Thank you. And let's go back there to, I said Darlene last time, and she wasn't even here. So is it Darlene this time? Yes? Okay.
You notice I just gave the mic to the person that took her mask off.
There you are. Yep. Darlene, you're up.
President Carrie Ann, yes, I guess I'm doing dessert.
Yes.
And the winners are, no, we have 3 choices tonight, so Kurt Agnostu, Mike Parker, and Marty Berry.
Yay.
He always puts in a lot of money.
Okay, with that, get your blue tickets out. What is the pot in the 50-50? We have a number? This big so far. Okay, the lucky winner is 6370 4, 6. That is Mr. Hal Palmer.
Yeah. 1750, come on.
1750. All right, so while Hal is working on picking the card, look at your red tickets, 403106. Oh, is there a 106? Red ticket, 106. Oh, Dick's got it.
You finally woke up.
Better late than never. Okay, 5 of diamonds we've got. Where would you like that to go, Dick?
Mine to go to the President's Diamond.
You pick.
Boys and girls. Boys and girls.
Boys and girls. Okay, anything else good of the order? Anyone has anything else? Just a reminder, if you have raised your hand for the appreciation dinner and need information, we could take a picture of this flyer if you like, but I've got that here. Okay, well, sounds good. We are all done for the day. Have a good afternoon.